Hey, welcome you guys. Thanks for actually tuning in today. Today we have the wonderful Kaye Denise.
She's an entrepreneur, the founder of a nonprofit, and she's an inspiration to all women.
So you guys already know, class is in session. All right, so cutting people off, right?
Ooh.
It is a place and it's a time, right? And everyone is in this room has started a business or thought that they had I would say, backing from family members and friends that were close at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And especially in the moment where it counts. And I don't know if they don't see it or you don't explain that it matters in that moment. How do you deal with that grief when you realize that they didn't show up?
Oh, man.
Because it hurts.
It does hurt. And you will be lying to say that it doesn't.
And I draw a line quick.
Cut you off fast.
I draw a line quick.
I try to be my very first, when I turned 30, I wanted my 30th birthday to be meaningful.
Okay.
So I did my launch party for my nonprofit.
I seen the video. It was nice.
Like,
You was smiling.
But there were so many of my family members that didn't show up.
Yeah.
But they knew how important it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to make a decision. And this is where you have to use your emotional IQ.
Mm-hmm.
Because it still hurts.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to make a decision how bad you're going to let it hurt. And then how do you proceed with the relationship after that? If you really, I had a cousin, she just had twins. I don't expect you to come. Girl, you just busted wide open for two people. I don't expect that.
Yeah.
But, my favorite aunt who is, sitting at home on a Friday night, well, you could have put on a little dress and made an appearance. But I proceed as normal. I still love you. I'm still here for you, but I won't invite you anywhere else.
Yeah,
I won't overextend myself.
Yeah, you said
losing,
it right.
Yeah.
You're definitely going to be the most polite one out of, I would say, these three.
Out of the group, you
three,
probably are.
Yeah, Nate is definitely going, hey, I totally understand, you guys maybe at the time just didn't work, and I am the most hateful one where I flip a bird. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Yeah, because for me, it's just I let anger, because it's like everything I'm used to is like abuse in so many ways. But that's why it's like I can't let it get to me. So it's like it's cool. Like if we part, like even with if it's past relationships, like we part in love. Like that's it, and it's cool.
Now I had to learn that.
Yeah.
Because, and I just had this conversation offline the other day. When I would break up with somebody, fight me, not literally, but I don't want to part in love because I don't want to have to look back. I don't want to have what ifs. I don't want to have questions. Cuss me out, do something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like that anymore. I've evolved. Because now I have relationships and I still really love those people.
Yeah.
To the core. And I probably would still help them if they really needed me.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't be there.
Yeah. There's emotion
for you that.
Yeah. You're still I call
I would never have anything. I don't have anything bad to say about them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would never degrade them. I just can't be there.
It's definitely power in knowing where you were at and where you're going.
Oh God, yeah.
Right. So that's why I'm quick to say, no, I am here. Right. And everybody go oh, you taking pride in it? I'm going, no, I just know where I'm at and I'm gonna live it. And then when I'm over it, I'm over it. But while I'm in it, I'm in it. Like you're gonna get the I'm not telling myself.
You're gonna bear the brunt.
Right. Until I go, all right, I'm sorry.
So Nate, do you feel like when people don't show up for you, do you express that to them? Do you express how you feel, or do you just deal with it?
I just deal with it because it's what it's because of my past. I expect it.
Okay.
Yeah, because my circle is very, very small, really.
Okay.
But I kind of expect the worst. I train myself to even with a friend, or if it's a girlfriend, it's I'm already at the breakup. We good.
Dang.
Yeah, it's
already at the breakup.
Well, it's just making sure that I'm good. There's no I'm not gonna be hurt. It's just hey, it's cool. But no, it's now even if Jay if Jay was hey, I don't want to do the podcast with you anymore, I'd be okay. But I take that more internally as because it's even breakup of a relationship, it's like, what didn't I do? Like there's an equal thing there, but I am still working on that. You know, there is blame on there, but it's like, hey, there's probably something I didn't do. Maybe I didn't do.
He just gonna keep all the
But
passwords.
that's maturity. And I love what you said. You said, so you just expressed like shared blame.
Mm-hmm.
So you took accountability in the moment as well. And that's what a lot of people have not mastered, taking accountability for their part. Because like, and you know, the 2020, one of the favorite words was toxic. We ran that word into the ground, you know, toxic behavior, you know, all of this, right? Which is great. I'm glad we're self-aware.
Right.
But in being self-aware, a lot of us don't identify our own toxic behaviors.
I'll give you that. I definitely would give you
Now, that's something that I had to work on. I had to learn that, because when you come from an abusive place, which I did, it's everybody else's fault. Everybody else's fault. It's not your fault.
Okay.
So it was.
Has always been like that?
Hell no.
Okay.
Listen, you did it. I was just there when you did it to me, and it's your fault. But no, it doesn't work like that. So that's real maturity.
Yeah. Well, because from the abusive side, it's always been my fault. So it's like that kind of fight or flight thing. It's always, if I say sorry like really quick, I can get out. So it's always that kind of thing, which is, it's like we have these characteristics. Like if it's self-deprecation, apologize too much. Like you just have to understand those things and be kind of a self-aware. It's like I have these little tics about me that I still got to work on, but it's just being aware of them and working on them, in the future.
I'm the same way though. Yeah. I have a tendency to over apologize.
Yeah.
Even if I don't really feel like I did something, but I still want to know. So I'll ask you like, okay, did I do something to offend you? Like I need to know that so I can address myself. But I do have a tendency to but that comes from anxiety and an abusive background.
I got a tendency to leave it there.
You do?
Yeah, I leave it there. Yeah. I'm not saying this is the golden way. I just typically leave it there. Really? I go like if we get into a fight, you're going to say, do you have a problem? I sure do. Do you want to talk about it? Nope. And I'm ready for action.
Well, why? Okay, so if you don't talk about it, how do you get to the action?
No, what I mean by action is, typically, if it's a man on man, I'm ready to go.
Oh, like, you about that action?
Yeah, we're ready for that action, right? Like, and I'm talking. And that is something that I'm working on. But being raised with a brother, as well as being in the environment that I was in, it was taught to no thinking. You know what I mean? You train to go, right? So.
Is that healthy?
It was never. It was healthy in that environment. Let me say that.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Definitely healthy in that environment, right?
Okay.
You thrived in that environment, taking on that persona.
For
now,
sure.
I would associate that world as the same world as the gaming world or virtual reality. That is not the real world. That is not how you handle real relationships. That is not how you conduct yourself in a real, I would say, environment, right?
True.
But in that world, that's how you thrive. So when I grew up, right, now I'm ready to go, and everybody wants to talk and ask me how I'm feeling, and why are you so mad? Why are you already on 10? And I'm like, now I feel crazy and stupid because for 17 years, I've been ready to go, and now I'm like, okay.
How long do you get? So now let's talk present, and this will be both of you. How long do you guys can get mad for? Like, can you be mad for, like?
Well, I'm a Virgo, so I can get mad for years.
Okay, you can hold that. What about you?
Listen, I'm a Taurus.
Okay,
that should say everything. I am actively working on, like, evaluating the situation.
Okay.
But I can hold a grudge for forever, baby. Like,
okay, because I'm Capricorn and we're little assholes. But like, my thing, because it's something it's one of the things I drive home in myself is not to be mad. So it's like for me, it's like I can only be mad for like 20 minutes.
Really?
Really?
Yep. Because I like don't let. Because my thing is like because it comes from my dad and he was very mad all the time.
Okay.
That kind of thing. So it's my thing is like I can't let these little things like. If it like so it's like even current circumstances or events that happen it's like people I was like, don't let it affect you.
Yeah.
It's like if it's not in your immediate thing, like you can't let it get to you.
Yeah.
And it's like, especially even relationships, it's like, you know, if you say something, just like, give me like 20 minutes, I'll think about it. That's why I'm like, all right, what did I do? It's like, I probably said something wrong, and we'll talk about it. But my thing is like, I'm not letting this drag on for, especially like I say, don't go to bed mad. I don't let it drag on past the night. Like we're gonna talk.
If it's my partner.
Yeah, partner's one thing, but even friends.
You know,
yeah, partners relationship. Yeah.
If it's my partner, like I do not want to go to bed mad. And even if you do, you're gonna have to put your feet on me or something. You're gonna have to show me a little bit of love so we can, you know, maybe we talk about it in the morning. But people, like in general, I will say this. I have the patience of a godsend, seriously.
Yeah.
Like, it takes a lot for me to be like, you know what, I'm done with you. But once I'm done, like...
Oh, yeah, it's hard to get back, yeah.
You can't even get me back. Like, it's not even a conversation.
Well, I'm glad that we have 3 different people that are in 3 different journeys working to the same goal.
Absolutely.
Right? Because you have so many people that go, it's one way or don't respect the journey that it takes for someone to get to where you're at, and you're not even there.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm looking at you like, oh my God, he's fucking amazing. You going like, shit, I still got about 2 more yards I need to cover. You know what I mean? So I think that definitely sums that up. Like, yo, applaud to you. I'm
real.
getting there.
So, Jay, how do you, because you deal with a lot of people on a regular basis. Unfortunately. Fortunately, though, it's productivity. So when you have issues with those people, like customers, how do you deal with that? Like, how do you separate your normal self from how you deal with conflict with other people?
So the way I learned is the way typically corporations do that. And what I mean by that is typically corporations handle people with a non-emotion streamline approach, right? This happens, we can only do this. And then we maybe can do this, but this is it, right? And a lot of, I would say most of the population doesn't agree with that. They think corporation should have an emotion, as well as when I'm operating, I'm representing my LLC or my corporation. And they think that you're supposed to be, I would say, genuine as well as relatable. But what they don't understand is on the opposite side of it. If I get emotional, I'll lose. Because a business main, I would say, purpose is making money. Right? And when you start to give it emotional, like, hey, this lady can't afford socks. She only got half of the money.
Yeah.
I'm going to give her a sock. And then I'm going to get, that gets out and you start giving away socks. Well, now the business, you won't have any money to pay your employees. And now your family is suffering. So you have to, unfortunately, cut off most of the actual emotion. Still have some room for error, right? So if a person calls me and complains, I have a go-to suggestion, and then I already have another go-to suggestion.
Okay.
And then if these 2 suggestions or these 2, I would say, solutions don't fit the, I would say, the value for the guest, then we're just going to make an honest decision of going, hey, maybe we will have to part ways. I don't want to see you go as a customer. I know you want to use some of my, I would say, venues or anything like that, but this relationship is just not going to work out. So we're going to end this relationship healthy and going, hey, here's all your money back.
See, look at y'all mature people in the relationships all healthy and whatnot.
Definitely. But personal relationships, I don't know. I'm learning I'm spiteful, right?
I see you spicy on some things.
I'm spicy.
Real spicy.
But I see that is a big step for an entrepreneur, right? Like when you're first starting up your business, both of you guys, right? Pretty sure your first clients asked you to do things that was at a certain pay grade and they only paid this. You did them, right? You did them, but then they took advantage of the situation. And that kind of forces you maybe I need to be more on the corporate end.
Man.
So tell me about, like, do you have an instance that you can think of when someone just like paid for a service or asked to help out in your nonprofit that it kind of, just kind of got a little crow? Don't drop names, but just
I don't name drop. I don't do that. So when I first started, when you first start something, you do it out of the passion of it.
Passion.
Most of us don't. I mean, we always want to make money. Like, that's the goal. But you start off like really passionate. You just want to help. You just want to, get the word out. Like, it's passion over profit at that point in the beginning stages. So I remember I had like a very small event, like my very first event.
Yeah.
I didn't even like advertise it. It was so small.
I got you, yeah.
And I had somebody come in like, hey, they just bought like a regular ticket. Great. And they were like asking for all this treatment. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. Of course. Whatever makes you comfortable. By, the second and third event, I was like, wait a minute. So I'm losing money because I'm trying to assist, or I want to be seen in this certain light, perceived to be this way. But I just lost out on 30% of my gross revenue because I want to be seen a certain way.
Is it about the 30% gross revenue, or is it one part also kind of self-respect that you gave it away?
I definitely gave it away.
Or you let them have something just because they...
Yeah, I really just let them have it. But, like when you look at it in hindsight, like when you sit down after, and you do your books for the week or for the month, and you're like, where did this money go? Or I thought I would have recouped this or recouped that. No, you gave it away.
Right.
You accommodated somebody. And I'm not saying never accommodate people, but to your point, it can be emotional.
And is there a difference between emotional than personable?
Yes, I think.
I'm sorry.
Don't answer.
No, I mean, I was asking, explain.
Well, it's like emotional is like emotional ties to, like, say, clients. Because I deal with, again, a wide variety of clients in all my avenues. But because, like, with me, I try to be very, very personable. Like everything is customized. Even kindness is in my company's name. Like, it's very important to me. So it's like, it's not to... So I like to keep emotion in there, like, so it is like you're dealing with me, and like anything that I make for you, it has your staple to it. It's like, it's not cut and paste. It's very to you, and I learn about them. So I have a very in-depth process with clients about learning who exactly they are, depending on the project. So I try to be as very personable as I can. Then even on the flip side, when I'm doing my engineering job with the CEOs, that's how they remember me. Is I'm very, very personable. But I understand that. So it's sometimes hard. It's like you can't, well, especially with corporations, it's like corporations are just kind of dull and that kind of thing. It's like you can't, and I know we talked contracts and that kind of thing, but yeah, it's kind of a fine line. I struggle with it. It's like being very, very personal. Like, hey, I'm taking care of you. Like, I got you. But versus, it's like, I got to take care of myself too. And I think that's where the emotional is like, I'm tied to you. I'm tied to this work. And it's like... Hey, you guys. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. If you're interested in listening to the full discussion, please see our podcast on Spotify as well as Apple Podcasts. If you appreciate the content, please like and subscribe. And if you have an opinion on what we're talking about, please leave a comment below. Hey, you know how it is. Class dismissed. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. You cool with that? I'm cool with that. Okay, we're good.